It's time for the AEW Revolution 2023 predictions. I am Luke Owen, DAD, and I'm joined today by Oliver Davis.
It's me. I love AEW. I'm every AEW fan's friend.
Yeah? Is this what your big new thing is?
Famously 100% consistent that I've always loved AEW, and that's because CM Punk's coming back at this show.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, do you actually?
I actually think he's coming back.
Huh.
That for me is that's the big thing. And they're going to come back. The Elite's going to beat House of Black, and then FTR will come out. Right. And that will be your next 6-man tag to build to All Out.
Wow, you think Punk would work with them and they would work with Punk?
Yes. Yep.
And Dax is very happy.
Oh yeah. It's all a work, brother.
You
Because Dax famously is never trying to work people in any of his interviews or any of his Twitter posts.
I'm just telling the truth. If some people don't like this truth that somehow actually benefits my negotiations right now, that's not my fault. I would say if CM Punk does come back, because I don't actually believe he's going to come back.
I do.
I would say if he comes back, I see it more of a double or nothing time. Because I don't think even in optimistic timescales, he is not healed from injury.
Yeah, we don't know him in wrestling next week on Dynamite.
Yeah, me personally, I would wait till he's ready to go. And the more time to heal wounds.
Ollie, it's worked so perfectly with Adam Cole. I just don't think that we need to just delay this any further.
Who else is currently injured? Just bring out Randy Orton. I'm coming back. See you later.
See ya. As I previously said, I am back.
Oh, yes. As I definitely didn't mislead people. Here I am, like I always said I eventually would be.
When The Rock came back and he's like, I'm never going away ever again. Then he didn't come back for like three months. And he was like, look, what The Rock meant is that I'm always here in spirit.
Oh, yeah. Like Jack is always with Kate Winslet. What I would say would happen if Punk came back, which I don't think he is, but if Punk comes back, I do not think he goes anywhere near the Elite. I think they'll weirdly exist in two different pocket universes.
The
The Codyverse. You'll have the Punkverse, you'll have the Eliteverse, which, let's be honest, kind of actually exists. We just didn't realize it existed because Cody had a more flagrant, blatant Codyverse.
Yeah.
But it is the Elite do something, and then there's everybody else. But so Punk comes back, and he comes back in the main event after MJF has beaten Bryan Danielson. Spoiler for my predictions when we actually do that match, because it is a year to the pay-per-view that CM Punk beat Max.
Or counter. Punk helps MJF win.
Whoa!
And we go on that run of the 2-man power trip.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
A year to the day that they ended their rivalry, they're now on the same page.
Yeah, again, I don't think that's going to happen. But actually, what could get Max more heat than really side with a heel Punk who brings up all this stuff?
Yeah.
They're both like, we're both going to WWE.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Punk doing promos on AEW Dynamite being like, I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Triple H is on the phone. I'm on the phone to Bruce all the time.
Yeah. Anyway.
Like, I don't know. The only reason I've gone to the CM Punk thing, we'll get into the actual predictions in a second. It's just that, like, there's so much chat about him at the moment. And, like, Kenny, hey, you say that Kenny did the sessions with Renee and did mention that legally he can't talk about it, Ariel Helwani, and mentioned that I wish Punk well. He's mending the fences.
Forgiveness
is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. You can get your predictions in for this as well, not just in the comments down below, which we do want to hear, but this episode, this build for Revolution, it's not about the Jam That Championship. It's not even about the number one contendership. The match at WrestleJamia is locked in place. It's me versus Pete for the title across both nights 1 and night 2. And we're going to have cumulative scores going across there. This is about Wrestle League. Ollie, tell me about Wrestle League.
Wrestle League used to be exclusive just to Patreons, but we have made it free for all. All you need to do is go over to WrestleTalk.com, create yourself an account, and you predict the cards for every pay-per-view. And what we do is we have seasons. So it's not like you will predict Revolution and we'd all predict Revolution and you'll have 100,000 people at number 1 because there's only, well, I say there's only 7 matches.
There's
but
7 matches now.
There probably will be 100 matches and there could be more sort of integer data points. But what we do is we run seasons. So the current season, I believe, runs from Elimination Chamber until, or maybe Royal Rumble, I think it's Chamber, until the last night of WrestleMania.
Sure does.
And it totals up all your cumulative picks to see not who's the best on the night, but who's the best overall, over months. And you'll not just be competing against, I mean, we had 3,000 people sign up for the first time we did this at Elimination Chamber.
Sure did, yeah.
Loads. We're so thankful everyone's given it a go. I hope you had fun doing it because you'll also be competing against all of us here in the office.
So these are our actual Wrestle League predictions that we're going to be putting in. So let's kick things off. In fact, you know what? This was the match that was announced on Rampage. We'll kick it off with this. The Elite defending the Trios Championships against the House of Black. Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews.
What a story. That's what I like about this feud. There's loads of character bits. There's loads of promos to build this.
No. I mean, there have been a lot of promos. It's just that those promos have been no substance to them.
When the Trios Championships were introduced, I was like, okay, let's have a couple of months of the Elite doing their thing, and then boom, we'll get into the meat of the House of Black feud. It's like that, and the Blackpool Combat Club are just like really juicy stakes that you can have so many angles and you can tell this really good story. I'm fine with the Death Triangle thing being a best of 7 series. It's a great way to start it off. But I was kind of ready for a more, it's a dirty word, sports entertainment style approach to something like the House of Black, who are so very gothic and a very high concept gimmick. But it really was just, we show up, we look at you, we've got a match. It's a 10-day build, if that.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make me believe that the House of Black are going to win this.
No,
I think I'm predicting an Elite retention.
I'm going with an Elite retention here as well. I'm actually slightly disappointed in this because of the trios that AEW have. This was like the one I was most excited about. Because we've got the Young Bucks going up against Buddy Matthews and Brody King with Malachi in there as well. Kenny and Buddy Matthews. Like, that's when Buddy came in. We were like, that's one of the matches we want to see is Kenny versus Buddy, even though Buddy is so wide now.
Doing the pointing thing.
Yeah, exactly.
At each other.
Well, pointing at each other's knees.
V-trigger.
V-trigger. And unfortunately, it is just a match, like you mentioned, it's just, we're doing it. Like, if anything, it almost feels like the way the indie promoters just announce dream matches, and they'll be like, guys, are you excited? Yeah, in the same,
I'm excited.
And it works.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to shows here locally that just, hey, we're doing Minoru Suzuki versus Keith Lee. And you're like, oh, sign me up.
Great.
I'm buying a ticket because I want to go and see that. I don't need a storyline to go. I don't need a storyline reason to go and see that. But I think when you have a weekly TV show, you do need something more than just, here is a match that is happening. You kind of need some reason, some substance to kind of go into it. And I think we're missing that with, what I'm saying is there's a lot that's been left on the table.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of an open goal here to tell a crazy good month-long build.
Yeah.
And there's been none of it. But like you said, yeah, I agree, Tony Khan is an indie booker. But facetious, but he is an extraordinary matchmaker.
Yeah.
And this is a classic Tony move. You want to see a dream match, and it will be bloody excellent. And I think come Monday morning, bleary-eyed, we will all be saying, that's match of the night.
Easily so. I think it probably will be.
Yeah. And, maybe... Usually I'll get more excited, like, all the directions they can spin off from this point. Malachi Black versus Kenny. Some tag team stuff with the Bucks. But it does seem that currently you are in the trios division. You are in the tag division. You're locked off. So, yeah. Whereas before, like even if you go back to pre-All Out, you'd have Dax going singles and then tag and moving all around.
I think the Bloodline has really changed the game somewhat, because this style of just announcing a match that people want to see, the sort of dream match scenario, absolutely would have worked at the start of AEW. Like in that early 2019 era, if they'd have just said, oh yeah, one of the matches at All Out 2020, whatever, or 2019 is House of Black versus the Elite, like, oh my God, this promotion's the greatest place on earth because they're giving us as wrestling fans exactly what we want. And they still are. But the game is changed so much now by the other company in terms of story driven and really making people invested in more than just the wrestling itself. I feel like you've got to do more than just say, here are 6 excellent wrestlers having an excellent, because this is going to be match of the night.
Yeah.
I think unequivocally it will be.
What AEW have done is they've flooded the market with great wrestling, and we see it every week and we see it every month. Like 5-star matches on TV. So yeah, we kind of crave what the opposite of that, which is story-driven things.
And it's why I'm so into the MJF Danielson thing, because it's so that's all character and story driven. You know, we had 2 weeks ago on Dynamite, we had on the same night you had like Danielson and Roosh, and you had MJF and Takeshita. It's like, man, any one of those, like 15 years ago, would have been like this lauded over match that you would have had to download terrible like quality rips off, and you have to run through VLC media play because it's the only video player that will actually play it.
And only 3 other people are sourcing it on Pirate Bay.
This is going to take me at least 2 days to download. But now we just get it. That's like that. There's 2 of them on one show. Up next for the AEW Women's Championship, it is a 3-way match as the champion Jamie Hayter defends against Saraya and Ruby Soho. What say you?
I went first last time.
I'm not a haterade. I don't drink it. But I will do on this one because Hayter's my girl.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going with a Hayter retention here. I think there's every chance they could swerve us and put the belt on Saraya, because I think that would be a real heel thing to do, because they are like, you know, the mean girls of the division, and they are also kind of the focal point of the division at the moment. Ruby Soho, I don't think is winning this belt, but I think there's an outside chance that Saraya might.
Yeah, if the Gun Club hadn't won the tag belt so recently, I would be going like Saraya's winning this. But because they did the unworthy heel win, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, that's what's given me pause. I also think they do eventually want to tell the Baker-Hayter split, and that is something done. The title could certainly drive, although you could totally tell that story with just friends turning on friends. Don't need the belt in that. Oh
no! What you do?
Yeah, definitely not Soho.
Yeah, you need to get the ROH Pure Championship in there, because that's worked out so well for the Garcia Jericho split.
I think there's a lot of title changes elsewhere on the show.
Do you now?
Well, there's okay. 2.
Yeah,
I think 2 are going to happen.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think the trios are going to change hands. I'm going to say Hayter retains 2. I think it's a safe choice, but, you know, it's most likely what's going to happen.
It's a singles match with the Jericho Appreciation Society banned from ringside. A story that kind of ended 3 months ago, but we're still here. Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. It's weird to say that it ended 3 months ago because it only started in January.
Yeah, well,
but it feels like it's been going longer than it has.
Because it's the same thing every week, and we got the finish first. Ricky Starks has already beaten Jericho. If we were doing this logically, just like the sort of what film is it? It's the Benjamin Button. It started as a fully formed adult, and it has gone backwards.
I thought you were going to say Memento.
Memento also does, well, yeah, it could work.
Oh no, because Memento, I suppose, does actually, you know, you get the conclusion at the end of the movie,
and it all makes narrative sense, and it's fulfilling. This is told completely out of whack. Technically, the way the build has gone, they have told the story of Jericho finally pinning Starks. That is an awful story to tell for your dominant heel.
Not if you're Chris Jericho.
Starks has got to win.
Yeah.
If Starks does not win, This has just been an absolute waste of a couple of months and one of the more exciting guys on their roster. I'm going with my heart and my head, Ricky Starks.
I'm saying Ricky Starks as well, for more or less the exact same reasons. For the TNT Championship, the champ, the king of television, Samoa Joe, versus Wardlow's World.
Has he said that for a while?
Oh, I can't remember. I don't think he said it in the my dad had long hair promo.
That would be a definite tonal shift. At the end.
That's a real gear shift right there. Yeah, Joe Wardlow. Ward Joe implodes. I think this is one of the other where you're going to say the title's changing hands. And there's part of me that, I mean, I don't think I would have said it is. I think Joe would have retained until they brought the dad element into this. Yeah. That makes me think it is going to go back onto Wardlow. I am kind of looking at a mid card though, where I'm like, I don't know where you go with Wardlow after this though. So I'm saying Wardlow wins, and I also think that then frees up Joe to go and focus on the Ring of Honor tapings.
Oh yeah, because that's where I want Samoa Joe.
Yeah, on
I don't want him having this banging TNT title run on TV.
No,
he's one of the best acts they've got at the moment,
which is why you put him on Honor Club.
And he's had he's essentially been a transitional champion twice. If he loses here, I think Wardlow wins. I mean, I don't think it will. I think in 6 months' time, Wardlow will probably still be the champion, and this would not have benefited him anything.
Yeah,
but they did. It was a nice promo that they did. It has made me more interested in it, and I think it'll be a very good match.
In a Texas death match, it is Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page.
This is a match where it's actually singing on all angles for me. I think they've got the story there. It's a great story. The characters are there. It's very complex, and the matches they've had have actually got increasingly better. So I cannot wait for this. This is their fourth outing?
Yeah, this is my most anticipated match on the card.
Really?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
And it's genuinely hard to call because of the way the story's gone. Either guy could walk away from this.
I'll put my prediction down first. Hangman Adam Page walks away with the win. I think Page needs this win more than Moxley does. And I think for the story that they've been telling, do you know what? I'm about to talk myself out of it. The story that they're telling, it means more for Page's character to win, but equally, it means just as much for him to lose. And those are always the avenues we go down with Hangman Adam Page.
I can tell you who the loser's going to be. The match that follows it.
I can tell you which match that'll be. It's Jamie Hayter versus Sarray versus Ruby Soho.
You don't think that hour-long match? So this is a tough card to structure.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a Jade Cargill 5-minute defense in there as well. Probably against Red Velvet.
I'm going to go Page as well. I think Moxley still actually hasn't gone on holiday, which I thought we all agreed was what was going to happen when he lost the belt. He's still there every week, bleeding.
Yeah.
So I think Moxley loses so he can transition into a Blackpool Combat Club feud with the Elite eventually. Hangman Page, I think, is perfectly placed to go against MJF as a next challenger because they're very, very similar characters, both very self-destructive and self-loathing, whereas Max almost uses it to fuel his success, this self-loathing aspect, and Hangman is self-destructive. So I think it's tailor-made. I really want to see that match.
I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to double check something here before I make a statement that might be wrong. So hold on.
First for the internet. Just say it.
2019. Hold on. Bear with me. You can vamp for a little bit, right?
No.
Hold on. I'm scrolling. Yes, I was right. I was going to say something, and I was actually right. Page versus MJF works very, very nice for Double or Nothing because one of the first matches in AEW history is Hangman Adam Page winning the Battle Royal where he last eliminated MJF at Double or Nothing 2019. And AEW really do like to have those little like, isn't that funny? Isn't that a little bit poetic?
Oh, yeah, the poster of the first show did have all the future champions in order from left to right. Funny that, isn't it?
Isn't it funny that?
It's like we think about these things. Yeah. But so I'm going for Hangman Page.
Yeah,
Although
me
I
too.
think it could go either way. And yeah, most anticipated match, really.
Up next, it is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We're recording this on a Tuesday, so we're before Dynamite has aired. So we don't know who the fourth team is here, but it's the Guns versus the Acclaimed versus Team TNA versus TBD.
Oh, no, you've read TBD wrong. That's FTR. Those 3 letters?
You think it's FTR?
Yes.
No, I don't think it is.
Really?
Yeah.
And FTR are just done with the company?
No, because they're coming out with Punk to challenge the Elite.
Oh, I see. I see.
Come on, mate. Try and keep up.
So who do you put in this final
Oh,
slot?
that's what I'm just bringing up. Hold on.
Motor City Machine Guns did just lose their Impact Tag titles to Bullet Club, but I think they're under Impact contracts.
Well, that's not stopping Aussie Open, is it?
No. But they're not. They're under New Japan contracts. That makes more sense.
All right, hold on. AEW Casino Battle Royal
Tag Team 20.
Tag
23.
Team 2023. No, 2024. 2023. Images. Okay. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, so I believe, March 1st. So it's either Top Flight, Aussie Open, 2.0, Best Friends, Dark Order, The Kingdom, Butcher and Blade, Lucha Bros, Blackpool Combat Club, or La Faction de Bananas.
Could be Penta and Phoenix. Could be Blackpool Combat Club.
It won't be Penta and Phoenix. I think they'll be eliminated or they'll be distracted by varsity athletes.
Not Blackpool Combat Club, because they're one of the only teams that weren't in the Battle Royal last week.
I have got a feeling it's going to be Best Friends because Best Friends was such a focal point of the last Battle Royal. So I think you could have Best Friends win this one.
So who are the Joker team?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a joke team in there. I don't think it's going to be FTR because I think that fuels the online speculation further.
I would love it if it was Santana and Ortiz.
Oh,
But you don't know where they're at with each other.
Yeah. If I was a betting man, I probably would have gone with Best Friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is every chance that it is FTR, I guess. But you're pretty firm that you think it's FTR?
Yeah, I think so. I'd be very surprised, and I think it really does mean FTR are on their way out.
I really don't think it would do. But and do you think if it is FTR, they're going to be the win? Is your pick currently TBD?
My pick for this video, so I will do my predictions obviously for Wrestle League. My prediction for this video is TBD, by which I mean FTR.
I'm in a bit of a bind on this one because I don't think the Guns are retaining. I don't think the Acclaimed are winning them back.
Yeah.
I also don't think Team TNA, despite
Go with your heart.
I mean, I would love it if Team TNA won.
Go with your heart of gold.
I think Tony Khan is too short-sighted to put the tag belts on Team TNA. So that does leave me with TBD, but I also don't think Best Friends are going to win the belts. It's why, your prediction of FTR, it does seem like the one that makes the most sense. Let me have a look at that image again. Who else could there be?
Well, it could just be the Joker team.
Yeah.
The Usos.
Or it could be Top Flight, maybe. Maybe they'll put the belts on Blackpool Combat Club. If they do win it, I could see them getting a good showing in there.
So you're going to go for TBD?
I am going with TBD. I just don't know who TBD is at the moment because I just don't think it's any of those 3 teams.
It's going to be Luther and
Serpentico. Right, which brings us to the main event. A 16-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship as Bryan Danielson takes on the champion MJF.
I can't wait. I think this is another one where everything's singing, the angles, the storylines, the promos, my God, the matches that Danielson had in the build-up to get this shot. But I think it's ultimately quite clear they haven't actually done a good job of making me feel like it's unpredictable. I'm sure in the match I'll react to near falls, but I think it's pretty obvious Max is retaining.
I think Max is going to retain here. I think the big swerve is that Max is going to win by out wrestling Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to he's not going to cheat to win at the end, which I think is what a lot of people are expecting to be like the finish of the match. But I wonder if the swerve of it is, no, Max just wins because he is the better wrestler on the night.
Kicks him in the balls, man.
Yeah.
It is. They're drawn 2 pins each or something. It's the final seconds, 59-30, 59-31. They're wrestling. They're frantically doing it. Behind the referee's back, low blow. Cradle, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Actually,
otherwise, that's 2 babyface for Max at this point.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm so curious to see how this match goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, from 2 aspects of this. One, I'm so interested from an MJF character perspective, because that's the thing that is, of anything on AEW Dynamite, that's the thing I'm so invested in at the moment, is what MJF's character is and what it means for the company. 2, so curious to see the crowd reaction to it. Because it's a 7-match card as it currently stands. Likely, we're still going to have Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland added. Likely, we're going to have Christian and Jungle Boy added. I think very smartly, they've moved the Face of the Revolution ladder match to Dynamite this week. So I think that's a very smart move. But I think those 2 matches of Jungle Boy and Christian, Swerve and Lee still could be added. And there is a possible Jade Cargill match that could be added as well.
Orange Cassidy.
In a 10-man tag.
Eddie Kingston. Yeah, but it'll still go on.
Yeah, it was all on the pre-show.
Yeah, but like, it's still
that's
so long.
I think you're looking there at like a 10-match card where your main event is an hour long.
So it's essentially a 13-match card.
Yeah, absolutely. Which somehow makes it shorter than All Out. I'm so curious to see whether or not this does have a burnout effect. Like the crowd will start hot and then there'll just be a lull period at a sort of like the 15-20 minute mark that doesn't pick back up again until the final 8-9 minutes.
It is a risk, and I think it's surely a lesson they've learned multiple times over the last couple of years. It's one of the main criticisms of these shows. They're too long, but they don't learn from it, unfortunately.
No. So I'm very curious, but I do think my official pick is MJF to retain here. So we've actually got pretty much the exact same. We've got on every single thing. Do you think there are any other matches that to be added?
Yeah, so should we do Strickland Lee? I'd say Strickland.
Yeah. As much as I think Lee.
Okay.
I think I'd actually go with Keith Lee to win
there. Do you want to do Jungle Boy Christian?
JB.
I think. Yeah, Jungle Boy.
Yeah, Jungle Boy.
Stokely Hathaway Hook.
Hook. Hook. Jade Cargill, Red Velvet.
Jade Cargill.
Yeah. Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Danhausen, and
Shibata.
Yeah, versus the Trustbusters and
Yuta. And Claudio Castagnelli
and Minoru Suzuki. Shibata was called out for spoilers in Ring of Honor
tapings. Yeah.
So he might be in town
by Yuta, no less.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. I mean, there will be matches to be added. That we've got Dynamite and we've got Rampage to add these two. But Tony, if you're watching this, and you'll be watching this before Dynamite airs, just think about it.
Think about the length, Tony.
Just like what I want you to do is I want you to put on, because I know you own it, Limp Bizkit's Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. Skip all the way to My Way, because the opening on it's like, think about it. Oh no, that's a different Limp Bizkit song. It's the Limp Bizkit song I'm thinking People know which one I'm thinking about. There's a track on Olympus, it's not significant other. Skip through them and you'll find it. And they'll go, just think about it. That's what I want you to focus on.
Right.
Hello, this is Luke Owen here. I am recording this half an hour after Ollie and I finished doing our AEW Revolution 2023 reactions, and I've just remembered the track is Rearranged from the album Significant Other. Rearranged is the song that I was looking for. There's a lyric in there which DJ Lethal does a little wicker with it, and it says, just think about it. So think about it, Tony. Anyway, that's all from me. Back to those lads.
That was a long bit.
But I think we all agree it was worth it.
Yeah. Just think about it, Tony.
Just think about it.
Think about the length.
I think that's actually what the track is called. So it should be quite easy to find.
Just think about it, Tony.
Just think about it, Tony.
Okay.
When you're booking the Revolution card for 2023. But that is all we've got time for on this edition of the podcast. Click the links in the video description down below because that will take you through to Wrestle League. Join in Predictions War against me, Predictions War against Ollie, against Pete, against Laurie, against Tempest. He calls himself the big Predictions King. Against Dave Bradshaw, the voice of British wrestling.
Adam Blompier. Sullivan Bo Brown.
We're all involved in this. You can compete against us. I had a pretty good Elimination Chamber. Only one match went awry for me, Bobby Lashley. So I am in pretty good stead to win this season. So I'm feeling confident. Come and join us. Click the links in the video description down below. And hey, when you're in the mood for clicking links, we've got a worst match ever. Click that because it's me, Pete, and Tempest watching and reacting to Damian Priest versus The Miz, the zombie lumberjack match from WrestleMania Backlash a couple of years ago. But until then, I've been Luke Owen, DAD. That has been Ollie Davis. Jam that jam.